Welcome to Senior Solutions, our Friday agency call. Joe Johnson, Michael Mahalik, we're going to be your host today. Man, we got a great show lined up for you today. By popular demand, we've had a lot of agents request that we kind of revisit the phone script. If you go on our YouTube channel, there's a lot of information about appointment setting. But I think it's something, Michael, that we kind of neglect a little bit too, is that we probably don't talk about appointment setting on the phone enough.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm going to share with you guys I'm going to give you a bunch of tips. I'm going to share with you the scripts that I use for direct mail, whether it's a direct mail lead, Facebook lead, or an internet lead. And you'll see there's a lot of similarities. There's also a few little differences as well. We want to get right into it. Oh, I forgot. Quote of the week. Every week we're doing a new quote. I think this is very appropriate. This is I don't know if Albert Einstein actually said this, but I found it on the internet. It says, genius is making complex ideas simple, not making simple ideas complex. And I think, Michael, that's appropriate for today's call.
Yes.
Because this can seem like a very complex business and a lot of moving parts, but at Senior Solutions, we try to do a really good job of just making it simple. Because agents that are confused and think this is complex, those are the ones that don't. That's when they don't do anything, and
that's when paralysis by analysis sets in.
Paralysis by analysis, and they procrastinate. And man, so that's why we talk about narrowing your carriers down, making it simple, that sort of thing. So our goal here at Senior Solutions is to follow this theory and to make something that can be kind of complex as simple as possible. The other thing I heard that Albert Einstein said was that if you can't explain a complex idea in simple terms, then you don't know it well enough. And I think when you master what you're doing, that's when you're able to take things that can seem to be complex and narrow it down. But anyway, I think it's something that we do here at Senior Solutions. I think we do a really good job of it. Okay, man, this is going to be what I'm calling like the ultimate guide to appointment setting, booking appointments for final expense leads. And we're going to be covering the different scripts that we use, and I'm going to be giving you guys some tips, a lot of tips actually. So if you want to take notes, that's great. But again, this is being recorded. We're going to get it on YouTube channel. We're probably going to get this posted on our website as well. I've got a few things I want to get updated as well. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Oh, one other real quick thing I forgot, subscribe. If you're checking us out, if you're not a Senior Solutions agent, or even if you are, if for some reason you haven't subscribed to our channel, we put out new sales content every single week. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when we put out a new video. And if you subscribe, and also leave some comments if you thought this was helpful, or if you have some recommendations of how we can improve the content. Certainly would like to hear positive or even negative comments as well, because we learn from criticism for sure. All right, let's see here. Let me move this. You've hidden your webcam. Okay, let me move that out of the way so I couldn't see the script. All right, guys, first script we're going to get into is what is referred to, you see, as the A lead script. Now, what we're referring to this is for direct mail. Okay, so I'm going to cover direct mail, I'm going to cover Facebook, I'm going to cover digital leads as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get right into the script, and then I'll kind of break it down and tell you why we kind of do things, okay? But I just want you to, I want to do this a couple of times, and I just want you to hear how I deliver it, the cadence, the rhythm, and then I'll kind of explain to you why I do the things that I do. And again, The best scripts I've ever seen are the ones that are not complicated and get to the point as quickly as possible. So Michael, if you don't mind, I'm going to be the agent,
Okay.
okay? Since this is my script and you're going to be the client. I'm just going to roll you up and role play. Now this first time around, let's try to make it go kind of smooth. Like don't give me a lot of rebuttals, just kind of go with the flow. Okay.
That's
And then if
good.
you want, you can throw in a bunch of, like questions or whatever.
Okay.
That's fine too. We want this to be like, we're doing it in a safe environment, but we are role playing. And I understand, when you deliver a phone script to a live prospect, there could be things going on. There could be circumstances where they may ask you different questions, but we're going to assume this one goes, pretty smooth. So I'm going to ring you up. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello?
Hello, Michael.
Yes.
Hey, Mike, this is Joe. Hey, the reason for the quick call is that you recently filled out the card that we mailed you that was talking about the new state regulated programs to pay for burial and final expenses. Anyway, it's my job to make sure that we get you the information you requested. Now, Mike, is it better for me to drop this information off in the mornings or the afternoons would be better for you?
Usually I'm in the morning, so I got to pick my grandkids up in the afternoon.
Okay, so Mike, when you're saying mornings, something around like 9 to 9:15 would be okay for you?
That'd be perfect. I'm up at 5:30 normally, so yeah, 9:15 would be perfect.
Okay, all right. Hey, Mike, before I let you go, let me just verify some information real quick. On the card that you had mailed back to us, you put down that you're at 975 Maple Street. I'm assuming that's still correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. And your date of birth, or the age, and you had written down your age as 67. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, Mike, on this card, you only listed yourself. Are there any other adults living in the home that could
No,
also
my
benefit
spouse
from?
passed away about 5 years ago.
Okay, I'm very sorry to hear about that. All right, well, sounds good. Hey, Mike, could you do me a favor? Just grab a pen and paper real quick. I'm gonna give you some important information to write down.
Okay, 1 minute. Let's see if I can
Just let
find
me
this.
know when you're ready, okay?
Okay, I've got my pad and paper.
All right, just to confirm, I'm gonna swing by around 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And then if you could do me a favor, go ahead and write my name down so you know who's stopping by.
Okay, what was your name again?
First name is Joe.
Okay.
Last name is Johnson, and I'll be wearing an ID badge, so don't let any strangers in your house, okay?
Okay, definitely won't.
All right. Hey, one last thing, Mike. At your house, is street parking better, or can I park in the driveway?
Oh, definitely park in the driveway. It's just us now. Just myself since my wife passed away. So plenty of
Okay.
room.
And then where are your house numbers located?
They're on the mailbox.
All right, perfect. Hey, Mike, and just so you know, I drive a small little black SUV.
Okay.
So when you see that pull up. All right, Mike, sounds good. I will see you tomorrow about 9 o'clock.
See you soon.
Okay. Yeah, bye. Boom, that's it. So a couple of things on here on the script that I want to point out that I think are important. Number one is that if you picked up in the very beginning, I didn't state where I'm calling from, okay? Didn't say, hey, this is Joe, I'm calling from Senior Solutions in regards to this, or the Senior Benefits Center, or whatever, okay? There's a reason why I didn't do that, Michael, because chances are, if I say, hey, I'm calling from Senior Solutions, well, they've never heard of Senior Solutions, right?
Correct.
So, or they've never heard of the Senior Benefits Center. So immediately, if, it's human nature, if someone calls me and says, hey, I'm calling from, the Illinois Benefit Center, my first thought process, well, I've never heard of that. What is that? What is the, so it kind of leads to a rebuttal. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I'm thinking telemarketer and I'm hanging up.
Yes. Now, have I said that in the past? Absolutely. Have I booked appointments? Yes. But again, we're trying to make things as simple as possible. And remember, what's the purpose of the script, Michael?
To set the appointment, nothing more and nothing less.
Exactly. So I want to get to booking the appointment as soon as possible. If Mike gives me an objection or a question, I'm going to answer it. If he says, well, wait a minute, where are you calling from? Or, what's this about? Yeah, I'm going to handle that. But I guess the point is that with your script is that you don't want to give so much information that it leads to an objection. Does that make sense, Michael?
It definitely
Like
does.
if I say I'm calling from Senior Solutions and they don't know who Senior Solutions is, it's going to prompt in their mind that they need to ask, well, wait, where are you calling from again? No, you want to reference why you're calling, the card.
Yes.
So anyway,
Rekindle that memory.
yeah. So hopefully that was really good. We can do it again real quick too. And if you want to, just throw in a few objections here and
Okay.
there. Like I don't want this to be like we've got calls which I can, in fact, what I'll do if you're watching this, I will, in the description below, I will link I did a video like 7, 8 years ago. One of the very first videos I ever put on YouTube. It was actually a conference call because we didn't have webinar back then. It was a conference call, and I recorded the conference call on my phone and then put that on YouTube. So it's kind of, it's
Wow.
kind of corny, but in my opinion, it's one of the best calls I've ever done on handling objections. And it's one like even when I'm trying to get like in the mindset, if I need a refresher, I'll actually go back and I'll listen to that call just to kind of get my mindset in the in the right place. All right, well, let's do the script again. Hit me with a couple of objections and let's see if I can, hopefully I can handle them. The great thing about, if you're booking appointments on the phone, the thing about it is that even if you screw it up and, you get tongue tied or whatever, and the prospect hangs up, you didn't blow the lead, okay? Chances are they thought you were a telemarketer and they were going to hang up on you anyway. You go door knock the lead. That's the beauty of final expense leads when you're doing local, when you're not selling over the phone. If you're doing telesales and you're calling in a different state, obviously that's different. But again, you're probably not going to be using direct mail leads anyway for that.
Joe,
All right,
we
Michael,
call that the golden rule of setting appointments, that before you ever make a phone call, that you will commit to anybody you cannot get on the phone, that you will door knock. And that's
yeah,
what keeps
absolutely.
you safe.
Especially with direct mail. What like these we're talking about mainly not telesales. This is not a telesales training call. However, I will say the introduction, the first paragraph of this call is pretty much the same way you'd want to start a telemarketing call. Obviously, you want to transition a little bit different if you're trying to sell over the phone, or if someone absolutely refuses to let you in the house, or they're not going to make an appointment with you. All right, let's see how I do with handling objections. Hopefully, I do pretty well. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, Mike.
Yes.
Hey, Mike, this is Joe. The reason for the call is that you recently filled out the card that we mailed you that was talking about the new state-regulated programs for burial and final expenses. And it's just my job to make sure we get you the information you requested. Now, Mike, is it better for me to drop that information off in the mornings, or would you say the afternoons would be better for you?
I'm sorry, what's this all about again?
Michael, I'm sorry. So let me back up. Sometimes I talk a little bit too fast. First off, Mike, I just wanted to let you know I'm not a telemarketer and I'm not trying to say something over the phone, okay? The reason why I called is that we had mailed you a letter that was talking about the new state-regulated programs for burial and final expenses, and then you had filled that card out and mailed it back to the office. And my job is simply just to provide you the information in which you requested. And I'm actually going to be in the area tomorrow. Just wondering, is it better for me to drop the information off in the morning, or would you say the afternoon would be better for you?
Well, I think we've already got that taken care of.
I understand, Mike. The thing about it is that I just got this card that you mailed in like a couple of days ago. So this is like really, really fresh. And like I said, my job is simply just to provide you the information in which you requested, to get you the information, in other words. What you do with it is totally up to you. We just want you to be well informed about the new programs here in the state of Illinois. Like I said, I am going to be in the area tomorrow. Would the mornings or the afternoons be better for you?
Well, you absolutely have to come by. You just can't mail me something.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, Michael. I get that a lot. And to be honest with you, I wish I could mail you something because it would make my job a whole lot easier. But because these state regulated programs are designed specifically for individual needs, they're not like some like cookie cutter program. Basically what I do as the state licensed field underwriter, Mike, I just stop in for a few minutes, kind of go over the programs with you, let you know how they work, answer any questions you may have, and get out of your hair. Shouldn't take any longer than 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay, you can come on by then. What time did you say you'd be in my area?
Well, I'll be in the area tomorrow, and I'm just wondering if I could stop by in the morning about 9:15, or would something a little bit later be better for you?
And Steph, let's go and get it. I'll be finishing my first cup of coffee around 9:15. That'll work perfect.
That'll be perfect. Okay. Now I'm not going to role play the rest of it because it's the same. Just going to verify some information and move on. So how was that, Michael? I mean, do you think I did a pretty decent job of handling the objection?
That was huge. That was huge. You let them know it's not a big deal. You're just the local field underwriter, and your one job is to deliver the information that they requested.
Yes.
And hopefully another thing everybody noticed that, the script in the very beginning, Joe, is sort of like a run-on sentence. You don't really want to give them any time to bring something up to object. So, the only time you open it up is when you ask them the appointment setting question. Does tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon work better?
Yeah, good point. Guys, sales scripts are not meant to be grammatically correct, okay? So it's like a script of a movie, you know what I mean? If you read the script of a movie, sometimes it like doesn't make any sense, or a play. It's not meant to make sense. It's not that you're doing it because you want to control the client. It's more that you want to control the tempo of the call. So it is a very long run-on sentence because you don't want there to be any breaks. You want to be able to get the whole thing out so they can hear the whole thing. Once they've heard the whole thing, then if they're going to object, then they can put in their objection. Like I said, this call is not to get into like rebuttals and objections and things like that. It's mainly just to, show you how to deliver the script. The other thing I just want to point out, Mike, is, and we're going to get into this a little bit too about the tonality and the cadence and things like that. There's a lot of information on YouTube about appointment setting, okay? Some of it I think is pretty good. Some of it I don't necessarily agree with. I've heard some guys that in preparation for this call, because I wanted to listen to other people and see what they do. And I've heard a few other guys on the internet, on YouTube, talk about not excitement, but like what I'm trying to think of the word that they used. Well, anyway, just kind of like getting like hyped up, you know what I mean? And like excited. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't really agree with that.
Agreed.
I feel like you're presenting almost like you're like a government worker. You know what I mean? It's like, and you want to deliver the script very as a matter of factly, like not with a lot of voice inflection. You want to speak clearly, but you want to speak slow, because you got to remember, we're dealing with people in their 60s, 70s, and sometimes even 80s. So if you're speaking really, really fast, they may get you confused with a telemarketer, which you don't want to do. Okay. And then I think even when you gave me the one rebuttal, I even interjected, "Hey, Michael, I'm not a telemarketer."
Yes.
Okay. That's what, and I'll get into that a little bit later. That's what they call a pattern interrupt. If someone's trying to get you off the phone really quick, like, "Hey, can you call me back?" And I'll just handle this one objection real quick, that I was not very good at in the beginning, it's not an objection. It's when you're doing your script and the client seems receptive, but then they throw in, oh, Mike, yeah, this sounds really good, but I'm really busy right now. Can you call me back in 15 minutes? Okay. Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. Because in your mind, what are you thinking? Oh, this person sounds interested. They want me to call them back in 15 minutes. Don't fall for it. What they're really saying is that they're not interested and they want to get off the phone. They're not, it's a non-confrontational way of getting off the phone. Then they can block your number or, never pick up your call again. Okay. So that's where you want to do, like, the real quick is the pattern interrupt. So as an example, let me go through the script, Michael, and I'll handle this, and you tell me, like, be polite, but just say, hey, I got it. I only, I'm busy. Whatever you want to say. I've heard I'm driving. I'm
Okay.
busy. Can you call me back in 5 minutes? Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, Mike.
Yes.
Hey, Mike, this is Joe. Hey, the reason for the quick call is you recently filled out the form that we mailed you that was talking about the new state regulated programs for burial and final expenses. And it's my job to make sure we get you the information you requested. Is it better for me to drop the information off in the morning, or the afternoon be better for you?
Hey, Joe, this is Joe, right? Well, Joe, I'm driving right now. I'll be home in about 10 to 15 minutes. Can you give me a call back then?
Michael, just real quick, time out. Don't hang up. I promise you, I'm not a telemarketer. I'm not trying to say something over the phone. This will literally only take about 30 seconds. All I need to find out is, because I am scheduled to be in the area tomorrow, I wanted to drop this information off to you about in the morning, about 9:15, or would something later in the day be better for you?
No, I guess in the morning it'll be fine.
Okay, so see what I did, Michael, is like, I'm not going to get off the phone. Okay, he's driving. I made the pattern interrupt that I'm not a telemarketer, not trying to sell you something. This will only take 30 seconds. That's what you call a pattern interrupt. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is, because he is driving, maybe not, maybe lying to me, I don't know. I'm going to go for what we call the quick appointment. So I may condense it a little bit and may not verify as much information as what I have on the card. I may go, if he says, yeah, about 9:15. Okay, real quick, Michael, I just want to make sure this address is right. It's 975 Maple Street, correct?
Correct.
Okay, all right, great. I know you're driving. I'm not going to ask you to write anything down, but I'm going to swing by about 9:15, drop off the information, and I'm going to be driving a black SUV. Okay, Michael?
Okay.
All right, I'll see you then. I'm going to kind of shortcut it a little bit, which is okay in this point. So any questions or I could find out if we have any questions, but Michael, how about you? Any questions or any comments that you want to add?
This the biggest thing, Joe. You've got one goal and one goal only, which is to set the appointment. Most agents get in trouble when there's long pauses, when it's not a run-on sentence and second phone, when they try to make a sell over the phone. Unless you're an expert at selling over the phone, they are going to hang up on you.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, we're talking about, guys, this is not a telesales training call. This is, but even in telesales, you want to kind of get going later once you realize that the person's going to stay on the phone and they're not going to hang up. Then you can start asking engaging questions and going back and forth. But in the beginning, you want to be able to, you want to be able to get off the phone and book that appointment as quickly as possible. If you do have any questions, or if you want to role play something, just raise your hand. I can unmute you and we can get going.
Joe, I think the other big thing too that we can't stress enough, the majority of these objections are what we call smoke screen objections. They just don't want to talk to you about deference. It's not really what they're thinking, is what they're feeling. And you see the way that Joe approached it, he overcomes that. We get down to the real root cause of the emotional tension. So they'll literally take what these people say to heart. And Joe has taught you how to overcome this and really sort of mitigate these emotional tensions that are causing them to throw these smoke screen objections out at you.
Yeah, and that's really what they are. They are truly, they're knee-jerk reaction smoke screens. All right, next is Facebook. I know we have agents that do work Facebook leads. I think Facebook leads are great. You do need to work them. Let me just say this before we move on, and this is kind of a disclaimer. I don't know if we may have some newer agents on. If you are, and maybe you're watching this and like maybe you are a new agent, you're not part of our agency. Maybe you could be watching this 5 years after we did it. You know what I'm saying? So you never know who you're talking to. But here's the biggest thing I want to say. If you're brand new and you haven't even gone out to make your first sit yet or your first presentation or made a sale, my recommendation is stay the hell off the phone, okay? Because if you suck on the phone, you can really get frustrated. I've seen people, Michael, I've seen agents buy leads and fail out of this business before they even got started because they sucked on the phone and they couldn't book an appointment, and then they threw their hands up and says, this doesn't work, okay? My recommendation is if you're new and if you're getting Facebook leads, direct mail leads, internet leads, keep them local. Go see the people first. Learn to door knock your leads and actually find out what this is all about. Go make that human connection, because once you understand and you can put it in perspective of what you're actually doing, and you get some emotional feelings and you get your heart into it, what I can tell you, it's a lot easier to book appointments over the phone once you've actually gone out and made some presentations. So hopefully that's some good advice for you guys. All right. Oh, I already have it up. The next script I want to handle is the Facebook script. Now, all these scripts they're gonna be very, very similar. In whereas we're only referencing, we're never telling the client where we're calling from. If they were to ask, we can certainly, in fact, what you can do, Michael, this next one on Facebook, since you didn't do that, this one, you can throw in the objection, where are you calling from?
Okay.
But we're gonna do the Facebook, and let me get through the whole thing first. And then, so I want agents to hear the flow without any objections, and then we'll redo it and we'll throw in the objection of where are you calling from?
Great. So you do it one time with no objection, then the second time you can do it and you won't be throwing where you're calling from.
Yeah. And again, this is Facebook, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Mike?
Yes.
Hey, Mike, this is Joe. I'm getting back in touch with you in regards to the Facebook post that you responded to about the state-regulated burial and final expense programs approved here in Illinois. Mike, this is the one that asked you to put down your favorite hobby, and you put fishing. I'm assuming that rings a bell to you?
I think so.
Okay, well, Mike, I'm the local state licensed field underwriter here in DuPage County, and I'm actually the one that's been assigned to get you information in what you requested. But before I go any further, Michael, I just need to verify your date of birth. You had put down May 17th, 1955. Is that correct?
I think so. Again, where are you calling from?
Michael, let me back up real quick. My name's Joe, and the reason for the call is that you had responded to the Facebook post that was talking about the state-regulated burial and final expense programs, and it's the one that asked you for your favorite hobby, and you put down fishing. I'm assuming that rings a bell, correct?
I think so now. Now it's getting a little clear.
Okay, well, I'm the local state licensed field underwriter, and I'm the person that's been assigned to get you the information. Michael, the reason why I was calling is I'm actually going to be in the area tomorrow. Just wanted to see if it was better to drop the information by in the morning around 9:15, or would something later in the day be better for you?
Yeah, well, we kind of, since we're retired, we kind of sleep late, so the afternoon would definitely be better.
Okay, all right. Before I go any further, Michael, let me just verify your date of birth. You had put down May 17th, 1955. I'm assuming that's correct.
That is.
Yeah, and the address is 975 Maple Street, apartment 3.
That is.
Okay, all right. Michael, you had mentioned about it sounds like you're married. On the response, you didn't list a significant other. Is there other adults in the house that could also benefit from the information?
Just me and my wife live here, but all of our kids are long gone.
Oh, okay, perfect. I'm assuming you guys will both be there about 9:15.
We will.
Okay. Hey, Mike, could you do me a favor? Could you just grab a pen and paper? I'm going to give you some important information to write down.
Okay,
Let me know when you're ready, okay?
I've got it.
Okay. Again, just to confirm, I'm going to swing by between 9:15. And if you could do me a favor, Mike, just write down my name so you know who's stopping by.
Okay.
It's Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson.
And
Okay.
I'll be wearing an ID badge, okay?
Okay, wonderful.
And just one last thing before I let you go, just real quick. Michael, as far as parking, can I park in the driveway or street parking better? You tell
It
me.
has to be street parking because the parking is assigned here. We've only got 2 for our apartment, so definitely have to park on the street.
Oh, okay. All right. And where are the numbers located on the building?
They're on the building on the outside, and then of course our apartment number's on our door.
Okay. And then do I need to push something to get in? Is there like an intercom system or a code I need to use?
There sure is. You know, just when you come up there, you're just going to enter our apartment number and it'll ring us, and then we'll let you in.
All right. All right. Sounds good. All right, Mike, I'll let you go. I'll see you tomorrow about 9.
See you then.
Have a great day. Okay. All right. So again, he asked me where I was calling from. I still didn't say where I was calling from. I still just referenced the Facebook call. But if Michael were to ask me, well, Joe, what company are you with? Hey, Michael, I'm with Senior Solutions. We're the state licensed agency that has been assigned to get you the information you requested. So that would be like, so if you pushed me on that, so if you ask me where I'm calling from, I'm typically just going to go back and reference the Facebook post and re-verify that they put down their favorite hobby is knitting or, watching TV, reading books or whatever it is. Okay. How'd you feel about that, Michael?
I love it, my friend. Those are definitely some common objections that you're going to receive on the phone. And so I thought you did a wonderful job there. Again, just we're nothing but professional delivery people. Just think of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, as working for a delivery service. Someone's heating and air goes out, as in Illinois in December, they're freezing. And all you're doing is calling to set up the appointment for the technician to come by and fix the HVAC. That's all we're doing. They request this. We're just calling to set up the appointment time. We're the delivery service.
Yeah, and I think, so one of the biggest mistakes I see agents make is that they try to overqualify the appointment because they're more because they're more worried about their own time than they are the client's time. Okay. Guys, trust me. I mean, Michael, if you would have heard when I first got into the insurance business back in 2009, the first script that I was introduced to, oh my God. I mean, it was almost like, now that I think about it, it was a horrible script. Okay. In fact, we would even ask things like, hey, Michael, before I let you go, I am making a special trip out to come to see you. Michael, are you good at keeping your appointments?
Oh my goodness.
So that was seriously part of the script. Okay. But here's what I found out, Michael, is that I don't care how many tie downs you do, it doesn't change the no-show ratio. Okay. So it's kind of like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have 10 appointments in a day? Or would you rather have 3 appointments that you feel like that you really locked in? Because sometimes those people you feel like you locked in, they're going to no-show you maybe on purpose anyway. Okay. So what I have found over the years in booking, thousands, tens of thousands of appointments over the phone, doesn't matter how many lockdowns you do. Okay. The no-show ratio is pretty much the same. You're going to get people that are going to no-show you. So what I have found personally, Michael, is to keep it more casual.
Yes.
Like I'm just dropping off the information, like make it like it's no big deal, because the magic doesn't happen until you get your foot in the door. And if you're trying to do too many tie downs and you can't tie them down and the people are blowing you off, then you've got no shot.
Agreed.
Okay, so don't worry about. I've seen some of these scripts with all these crazy tie downs and different things like that. I'm just telling you, keep it more casual. As a matter of factly, that your job is simply just to drop off the information. I used to be opposed to that. Like when I used to hear that before, and this is going back like 7 years ago, and I heard people say, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to drop off the information." Like to me, I was thinking as an agent, I'm thinking, no, man, I want them to know, hey, this is a confirmed appointment. Okay, guys, don't get so hung up on that. Okay, we live in a world that's more casual, I guess, kind of say. Um, okay, next one. Anything else you want to hit on as far as the Facebook leads?
Joe, I think you've done a very thorough job.
Okay, all right, awesome. Next one is the internet lead, which is basically, honestly, it's the same script as the Facebook lead. We're just changing the wording a little bit. These are all basically about the same. So let me just run through and you'll see. So just real quick, like if you're getting Facebook leads, you may have to modify your script a little bit depending on what the password is. Some of them will ask, what is it, your favorite color, your favorite hobby? What are some of the other things that maybe Facebook may ask those leads?
It's usually the hobby and the colors, what I've seen on them.
Yeah, it's usually going to ask for a security question. Okay, so you may have to, just tune this to the whatever the security question is on those. Now, on the internet leads, the ones that I'm talking about are the digital leads that we have agents working, and those typically are going to be asking for the name of the beneficiary. So what you're going to see, it's very similar to the Facebook script. I'm just interjecting the beneficiary part of it. So we'll just do a quick ring, ring, ring. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello?
Hello, Michael?
Yes.
Hey, Mike, this is Joe. I'm actually getting back in touch with you in regards to your online request for information about the state-regulated burial and final expense programs approved here in Illinois. Now, Michael, this is the one that was asking for your beneficiary, and you put down your daughter, April. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right, perfect. Well, I'm the local state licensed field underwriter here in DuPage County, Illinois, and I'm the person that's been assigned to get you the information you requested. Mike, but before I go any further, I just need to verify your date of birth. You had put down May 17th, 1955. Is that correct?
That is.
Okay, and your street address is 975 Maple Street, apartment 3. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay, all right, great. Now, Mike, is it better for me to drop this information off in the mornings, maybe tomorrow around 9:15, or would something later in the day be better for you?
Oh, we're early risers, so the morning would be great.
Okay, so about 9 o'clock would be okay?
That'd be perfect.
Okay, then boom, the rest is just the same. Michael booked an easy appointment. So you see with the internet lead, the ones I'm specifically talking about, these digital leads that we have access to, they ask for the beneficiary. So you kind of want to use that as the code word. You want to reference back something that only you would know. This is going to separate yourself, that they know that you're not a telemarketer. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, real quick on the screen, I see if you want copies of these scripts, like I said, I know that the A lead script is already on the website. The internet lead and Facebook, I'm not sure. I'm going to double check. I'm going to make sure these get posted to the Senior Solutions agent's website. But if you would, if you're wanting a copy now, let me know. You can shoot me a text and I'll text you over a digital copy of it. Also, if you are not contracted with Senior Solutions, but you're really liking the content and the training that we provide, and if you're interested in contracting opportunities, please give myself a call. You can shoot me a text or give me a call. We can have a conversation just to see if this is going to be a good fit for you. All right, now don't leave the call because I got a lot more information for you. Let me just check the time. Okay. Michael, are you ready to go through the rest of the material we have?
I am ready, my friend.
Okay. First thing we're going to cover, I'm going to go over some tips with you that, you know, may or may not be obvious to you. Number one is if you're going to book appointments on the phone, you need to have a bunch of leads, like a lot of leads, okay? And again, if you're new and you just got your first batch of leads in, and you got like 10 or 15 leads in, I wouldn't even try calling them. Like, just go door knock them. So my advice is, if you're running local, is door knock your leads first, call them second, okay? So now if you're an experienced agent and you really know what you're doing, you're very confident on the phone, man, go ahead, pick up the phone, you know, start booking appointments. But just make sure that you have plenty of leads to call. And again, supplement your leads. So if you're calling, you know, if you just put in a direct mail order and you know, they're starting to trickle in, go to the aged lead store and put it by zip code or county and get a bunch of aged leads and get like 100 of those and blend those into your mix. You'll be surprised. We do very well with the aged lead store. The other thing too, Michael, maybe I can have you talk on this a little bit, just about the importance of tracking your numbers.
This is so important, Joe. I think it's just human nature to play tricks on ourselves. We want to get to the day and think, hey, we had a bad day and it was all about the leads, etc. But if you have this activity tracker, you'll find it real quick. You had a bad day because you didn't see enough people. This business is all about putting the numbers on your side. And you're never going to truly know what your numbers are until you track your numbers. Who is that? Peter Drucker that says, what gets measured gets managed, Joe.
Yeah.
So just expect right up front, especially if you've never been in self-employment before, you're going to play tricks on yourself. And the thing is basically to hold yourself accountable. You no longer have a boss. You're your boss now. But the bills are still got to be paid. Therefore, you need to track your numbers, because the numbers tell the true story, especially when you get to the end of the day. Because Joe, as you and I both know, most people fail because of lack of activity, or really an underestimation of how much activity it truly takes to succeed in this business. And the activity tracker is going to help you keep you accountable.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Professionals track their numbers, amateurs don't. Know your numbers. Drill and role play. So, guys, I mean, it's something that's so important. You've got to be able to know the scripts, know the rebuttals well enough that you could teach a class on it. Like, it just got to be, you got to get it down, and you got to roll, like, you know. And the reason why I know the scripts so well is because I've role played them and drilled them over and over and over and over. And if you take these and you just drill 7 or 8 times a day for, you know, a month, man, it gets so ingrained into your brain that you don't even have to think about it. So drilling and role playing are something that are very important. And if you don't have anybody to role play with, just do it with yourself and record it. You know, use your phone and record it. If you have a laptop, use your, what do they call that? I don't know what they call your webcam. Use your webcam to record yourself. Call me, role play with me. Best times to dial. Michael, you want to hit on the best, what you consider to be like the best dial times?
Oh, definitely. You know, first of all, anytime you get the person on the phone is a good time to dial. But if you were to ask me the 2 best times, Joe, it would be Saturday morning between 8 and noon, and Sunday between 4 and 8. And again, as Joe mentioned earlier, it's almost a pattern interrupt. They're not expecting a call on Sunday afternoon between 4 and 8, and you'll find the top performers will tell you many times they can reach more people between 4 and 8 on Sunday than they can the entire week, simply because your clients are expected. The other thing, Joe, is we always say, call in the morning. Start calling at 8 to 8:30. That's another time that people don't expect you to call, and you're going to catch more people on the phone than any other time during the day. But
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. There's never a bad time to call, but before you pick up the phone, make sure that you have at least, a couple of hours blocked out of totally interrupted time that you can just pound the phone. Whether you're using a dialer or not. If you're dialing direct mail leads, I recommend don't use a dialer. The dialer's good is when you're putting a bunch of data in there, like if you're doing telesales and you're buying a bunch of leads from a lead store or whatever, you just want to get a bunch of data in there. But if you're dialing fresh leads, I'm just using my cell phone. So good on the best. And you're calling Saturday morning and Sunday evening to book appointments for Monday and trying to fill your calendar up as best as you can Monday. And then Tuesday, you can get back in to do more dials, or have Tuesday. I know a lot of guys, they'll book as many preset appointments as they can, and Mondays will be their preset appointment day, and the rest of the week they'll just door knock. Okay.
You got it. But again, we never ever set appointments more than 48 hours out, or they will not be there.
Yeah. Triple dial. Michael, you want to talk about triple dial? What does that mean?
Again, another pattern interrupt, ladies and gentlemen. And we all know, caller ID has changed the way that we communicate in America, because, now everybody from the poorest to the richest can always see who's calling in. And as we know, 99% of people are not going to pick up. So the triple dial was instituted to basically break this pattern that the average American follows. Let's face it, that phone call comes in, we don't recognize the number, we hit decline, and there's not a text sent or a voicemail left. Joe, I don't think another single thing about that call. I go on with my normal day.
Yeah.
But with the triple dial, what you do, just as it implies, you call in the first time. You never leave a voicemail. So you call in the first time, they're going to look down, and just as normal, human nature, they're not going to ask that one. They're going to send it to voicemail. So you're going to wait 5 seconds. You're going to call again. The second time, now they're going to start wondering, that sure is strange to get the same call from the same number in less than 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But guess what? They're still not going to answer. They're simply going to hope that you leave a voicemail or send them a text message. But ladies and gentlemen, usually on the third, fourth, or fifth call, that's when you're going to start getting traction. Because when someone receives that many calls, again, especially on a Saturday morning, Joe, or a Sunday evening especially, now they're going to start wondering, I wonder if my grandkids have been in a car accident. I wonder if something's wrong. I wonder if my elderly mother's doing okay at the nursing home. So that tension starts building, and that many times they're going to pick up in a panic. And now, Joe, you got their attention. And many people say, I'm going to really harass these people. I'm going to tick them off. I said, no, you're not. That's really just the way you get a hold of people in modern day America. Because if you don't do that, you're most likely many people you're not going to get a hold of. And again, just put your.
I've never had anybody get pissed off that in fact, most of them don't even say, why'd you call me 3 times?
No.
They're, so triple dial, you're in with your cell phone. All you get, like Mike said, all you got to do is it's easy. All you got to do is let it ring a couple times, hang up, wait, hit redial, ring, hang up, redial. And then the third time, I've even done it 4 or 5 times, to be honest with you, Michael, but minimum triple dial. If you're aggressive, quadruple, or do it 5 times in a row. Then you might piss somebody off, but they'll answer the phone. All right, Michael, I want to talk about this one about voicemails.
Okay.
Now, you're better off never leaving a voicemail. Okay, here's the thing. If you leave a voicemail, 99.99% of the time, they're never going to call you back. Okay. There's only one voicemail I will ever leave, Michael, and I get a reasonable call back on it. Maybe 20% of the people will call me back. And that is what I'll do is I won't actually leave a voicemail. I'll just pretend like I dialed the wrong number.
Okay.
Because I want to get into their brain a little bit. So what it is like, if I'm calling you, it kind of sounds like this. Like it goes to voicemail. It's like, oh, this is Michael Mahalik. Please leave a message, or whatever it says. Hey, I'm busy. Whatever their voicemail says, leave a message like this. Just try it and see if they'll call you back. Say, Mike, I think never mind. I got the wrong number, and just hang up. And that's the message. So number one is that in today's world, a lot of people don't even listen to their voicemails anyway. Okay. I know some old people that don't even know how to get to the voicemail on their phone.
Yes.
So you gotta take that into consideration. But if they do listen to it and you don't say who it is, and they listen to it and it's like, wait a minute, I don't know who this is. It's not the wrong number. This is they're thinking to themselves, I wonder who that was. They thought they had the wrong number, but it's really the right number. I better call them back. So it's kind of a little bit of a psychological thing. Okay, so if you're going to leave a message, leave that message, that you think you got the wrong number message, but don't say who you are, where you're calling from, or even your name. Okay, that's enough about that. If you don't do that, don't leave a voicemail. They'll never call you back. Tonality, cadence, low and slow, politely assertive. Michael, you want to handle this?
That's huge. At first, everything you do not want to sound like you're a telemarketer. Yeah. And obviously, telemarketers are high pitched and quick. You want to be low and slow. This is not a big deal. You're simply the field underwriter, and your job is simply to get the information out to them that they requested. You are nothing more than the appointment setting service. Going back into that HVAC, it's July and they're sweating figuratively and literally. You're simply calling to set the time for the technician to come out. The exact same thing here. So that is true. So you want to be low and slow. It's not a big deal. If it's not a big deal to you, what you're going to find is it's not going to be a big deal to them, especially during COVID times, Joe. These people have been beat up by telemarketers, so they're already on their guard. That's why it's so important that you do everything not to sound like a telemarketer.
Yeah, you got to separate yourself. How about being politely assertive? What does that mean to you?
One thing that we've all got to realize on this phone that some, but not all of our clients are best described as world-class procrastinators. There's a reason they made it to 65, 70, or 75 without insurance, and it wasn't because it wasn't presented to them before. They were just able to get the person off the phone or get them away from the door. And that's why we got to be politely assertive. Joe, almost like a doctor to a patient. They're willing to speak the truth and love to that patient. We need to do the same thing as well. That's why Joe said, even when they say I'm busy or to call me back when I get home, Joe doesn't get off the phone. He remains politely assertive. He's willing to give them that gentle nudge because, hey, we're delivering life-changing information here that if they die without this, their children could really have a huge financial burden put on them.
Very good. All right, I want to get through the rest of these. I don't want this call to last too long. Learn to master the rebuttals and the common objections. And remember, even if you blow it on the phone, you didn't kill the lead. Go door knock it. So again, we're not going to, we kind of handle some rebuttals. We've got a bunch of, which I'm going to link when I post this video. If you're watching it on YouTube, by the way, obviously this is a live webinar, but I will post in the not the comment section, but in the description section, I will post a couple of links, videos of common objections, so you can listen to those. Don't overqualify, guys. You don't need to ask clients. I've had agents that wouldn't book an appointment, Michael, unless they confirm on the phone they had a bank account.
Goodness.
Guys, you don't overqualify. You don't need to ask them, if they have a bank account. You don't even need to ask them medical questions or prescriptions, or you just want to, you want to set the appointment. You want to get out there and have the opportunity, because literally with the programs we have, there's almost nobody, we can't cover. So just do yourself a favor. Don't overqualify, because you're doing it for your benefit. You're being selfish, in my opinion, if you're overqualifying. Book appointment times, how far apart? Man, if you're new, I would do a minimum 90 minutes apart, maybe even 2 hours apart. The other thing that Mike and I both like to do is that when you're booking appointments, try to either book your first appointment early or your last appointment. I don't care. So like if I get the first, this is my first appointment for the day. I got somebody on the phone. They can't meet me in the morning. They can meet me at, in the afternoon. I'm going to try to book that one for like 5 in the afternoon. Okay. Make it my last one, and then book one in the morning and kind of go in between. But ideally, depending on how far they're apart, I would say minimum, 90 minutes apart is okay. Sometimes even 2 hours. The thing about it is with final expense sales is that we're big door knockers. If I go to my first appointment, let's say I book them 2 hours apart, and my 9 o'clock is a no-show, my next appointment is at 11, that gives me an opportunity to door knock. The other thing too, Michael, I just thought of, I want to make a point, is don't be afraid to show up to your appointments early, okay? I've done this plenty of times where my first appointment was a no-show and I have like a 90-minute window. If that next one isn't too far away, I'll just go to my next appointment that isn't scheduled for an hour and a half or 2 hours. I'll just go to it early, knock on the door, and either apologize, hey, I was running ahead of schedule, is it okay? And I can always come back, but and usually if they're home, they'll usually let me in. Because if they were, if they're home early in the morning, like 9:30, chances are the only reason why you booked it for 11 anyway is based on your schedule, not theirs. Does that make sense? So don't be afraid to show up late. Don't be afraid to show up early. The important thing is just to show up. Let's see here. What do I got here? Oh, let me talk about this. The no appointment. Okay, Michael, when I use this is when I have a client that doesn't want anybody, like they don't want to make an appointment, they don't want to schedule. Like, and I can say, yeah, I can drop the information off at 9 o'clock. And let's say that client says to me, well, no, I really don't want anybody coming by my house or whatever. Here's what I'll do. I say, no problem. I said, Mrs. Jones, we don't need to book an appointment. I'm not going to book an appointment with you. I just happen to be in your area. I do have I am going to be seeing a client tomorrow morning about 9 o'clock. What I can do is in between appointments, let me just stop by real quick. I'll just drop the information off to you. You're going to be home around 10:30? She says, yes. All right, great. I'll drop the information off then. That's what I call the no appointment. And what I'm really doing is I'm booking a time, not necessarily like an appointment, but I'm just booking at a time when that person's going to be home. Because once I show up and they can see me face to face and, see I'm like a regular person and, I've got the booklet and I've got all the information they want to receive, I've got a much better opportunity to get in the house. Or maybe she's embarrassed of her house. Maybe we have to sit in the car, or if it's the summertime, we sit on the front porch and we do the whole presentation out on the front porch. So don't be afraid to schedule a drop-off time versus an appointment time. And you actually say to the person, listen, we don't need to schedule an appointment. I understand. You don't want anybody coming by the house, no problem. So that's called the no appointment. And honestly, it works like a charm.
I like that, Joe. I've never heard that before. So, man, you learn a new thing every day in this industry.
I use it all the time. Oh, I don't want to book an appointment. No problem, Mrs. Smith. We won't book an appointment. I'll just swing by in between appointments and drop off the information. Oh, okay.
Just remember, ladies and gentlemen, most of these objections are knee-jerk and smokescreen objections. And Joe just almost like your kids giving you excuses.
They just don't want anybody in their house, dude. They're embarrassed. They're a hoarder. Their house is messy. I've done appointments in my car. I've done them on the front porch. I mean, now that it's in Illinois and it's like, 0 degrees out, obviously, you're not doing appointments on the front porch, but I've done appointments in my car, like hey, Mrs. Smith, my car's right there. It's running. Can we just go sit down real quick? Let me go
Yes,
over this folder with you. It's cold out here,
I love
you
it.
know, and they're just embarrassed. You want to hit on mindset and attitude real quick, Mike?
Yeah, this business is all about mindset and attitude. And again, anytime you're door knocking or you're making an appointment, you can only have one mindset and one mindset only. If you get outside this mindset, you're going to get in trouble. And that is you're nothing more than a professional delivery person, much like a UPS or FedEx driver or that HVAC appointment setting service. It's just calling out to set the appointment for the technician to come out. Anytime you start trying to play the role of salesperson or qualifier or anything else, you're going to mess up in this business. So it's so simple, ladies and gentlemen. Anytime you're on this side of your client's threshold outside their house, you're nothing more, nothing less than a professional delivery person. Always relax, take a deep breath, give yourself a checkup from the neck up for you. Make the calls. Remember, they requested this information. They gave you your phone number, so you have the right to call them. And then last but not least, always be persistently resilient. Keep pushing through, knowing that you're protected by what we call the golden rule of setting appointments, which is this. If you don't get them on the phone, you're going to go door knock them. And then you're going to find the secret that every top performer is going to tell you. And you know this is true, Joe. Some of the rudest people on the phone that say some horrible things to you on the phone turn out to be some of the nicest people in person and some of the largest premiums you ever make. So just remember, professional delivery person, remember to relax, take a deep breath. Remember, you're going to be persistently resilient. And remember, this is a two-part process. No big deal. You can't get the appointment set on the phone. You're still going to go out and see them. In many cases, you're still going to write them.
Yeah, just remember, once you get in the house, game on. Like the mindset and attitude changes once you get in the house. You know what I'm saying? So very good point. Let's roll through these multiple numbers. All I'm talking about here is that it may be not a bad idea to use different numbers, like use your cell phone. If you got a business line, call from your business line. You can get a Skype number, you can get a Google number. So just, as you rotate through your leads, it may not be a bad idea to use multiple numbers, especially if you've been calling the same leads over and over from one number. Try switching to a different number. Just a little tip that may help. Call on the weekends. For some reasons, agents don't call on weekends. Just block out that Saturday morning for 4 hours. Call 4 hours Saturday and 4 hours Sunday evening. And it could potentially change your business. Set the appointment, not the product. I think we've already talked about that. Don't give quotes over the phone unless you absolutely have to, or obviously if you're doing telesales, but usually nothing goes good if you start getting into pitching products and, giving them quotes. If they absolutely, force you to give you a quote, you can certainly give them a ballpark. You don't want to get in the habit of it. But also too, if you totally blow it and they just hang up, remember, you can just always go door knock it too. Okay.
Well, it's the old saying, Joe, nothing good normally happens on the phone. It happens in the home.
Right. But I've had clients like, well, you can't come to my house unless I get a quote. All right, no problem. It's going to go something like this. Hey, no problem, Mike. Here's what I can tell you. I've been doing this for a long time, and very rarely have I ever had a situation where I couldn't find a program that fits into someone's budget. And Mike, at the end of the day, to be honest, you're the one that controls the cost of the program. So if you're looking for a program that's, $15 to $20 a month, we can certainly accommodate that. Or if you've got a bigger budget of 50, 60 and you're looking for a bigger policy, we can take care of that. So Michael, out of curiosity, does somewhere between $15 a month and $100 a month, does that fit into your budget?
Well, yes, definitely more towards the 15, but yes.
All right, perfect. I'm going to book the appointment. So anyway, that's what I mean. If you're trying to sell, do the whole thing over the phone, probably not going to happen. But if someone absolutely says, don't come to my house unless you give them a quote, give them a ballpark and let them know that they're the one that controls the cost of the program, not you, based on their budget. Pattern interrupt, we've already talked about. So that's where you call a timeout. Hey, Mike, don't hang up. I'm not a telemarketer. Mike, time out. Don't hang up, please. I'm not a telemarketer, not trying to say something over the phone. That's what we call a pattern interrupt. That's to kind of, take them off their game a little bit. I think that's about it. Oh, hire an appointment setter. Should you hire an appointment setter? Not until you have so many leads that you can't get to them all. So if you're brand new, or if you're, I put you this way, even if you're not brand new, if you're doing direct mail leads or Facebook leads and you are only getting, 20, 30 leads a week, in my opinion, you don't really need an appointment setter, okay? If you're getting 30, 40, 50 leads a week, yeah, you better hire an appointment setter. But still, at the end of the day, even when I've worked appointment setters, Michael, I would always take all my fresh leads myself, and I would go door knock those leads myself and try to resolve all the easy ones, and then give my appointment setter all the ones that had phone numbers that I couldn't resolve. Because at the end of the day, why would I give my appointment setter like what I consider to be laydowns, like the easy people? I want them to earn their money. So even if you hire an appointment setter, again, my biggest tip is don't do it unless you've got more leads than you can handle. And even if you do hire an appointment setter, you go work them. You work them first, go door knock them first, try to resolve them in the first week that you have them, and then give your appointment setter the ones that you couldn't resolve. Does that make sense?
Always remember, an appointment setter is never going to work the leads like you're going to work them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, we ran a little bit long. My apologies, but man, this is a lot of content, So thanks for attending. God bless. Love you guys. Thanks for hopping on the call. If you have any questions, if you need help, certainly give me a call. Hey, Mike, thanks for everything you do for Senior Solutions, brother.
No problem, Joe. I tell you, this is life-changing information. Ladies and gentlemen, watch this video over and over again and definitely role play it.
Yeah, we'll definitely get it out to everybody. All right, man. God bless. Take care. Peace out.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, see you. Bye.